rock and roll. Strike up the band and let's get everybody up and dancing. Well, maybe not everybody. Drop the rock for week 3 of Major Indoor League Lacrosse. Philadelphia feels the fight in their song as they take on the Baltimore Thunder. John Tavares performs his first solo against the Boston Blazers. Vinny Pfeiffer tries to conduct another win over the Rochester Nighthawks, getting all his fans up in the aisles and even getting Elvis in the house. Thank you,
Bad music. Very, very bad music.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Mill Laxattack. I'm Lee Belsmo. Great show tonight. We've got Philadelphia taking on Baltimore right here at the Core State. Also, Boston goes to Buffalo, and New York has a huge game at home, and they are taking on Rochester. All that tonight on the Mill Laxattack. ESPN2 presents Laxattack. Highlights of the weekly Major Indoor Lacrosse League action. This week's MILL Laxattack show is brought to you by Brewery Fresh Bud Light, who reminds you that fresh beer tastes better.
Come in, we're 0-1. Looking to play a lot better from our last game. We got to obviously stop guys like Marichek, Finneran, Gary Gate. Looking to, play some really good defense on them.
We figure we got to take care of Gary Gate, and we should be all right. That's probably our main concern. If we hold him to, a couple instead of like 6, we should be in good shape.
Game tonight, Baltimore. It should be a great game. Got Thunder, they're 0-1, but they're coming out for a victory. They're here to show they got a lot of heart and that they can win. So we got to be ready for them. We're ready. New building. Here we go.
Baltimore, they got a lot of talent. They've some really good outdoor players, and hopefully they haven't got quite together in the indoor yet. Got some young guys and some older veterans that are trying to get those guys together, so hopefully they don't put it together against us.
Well, it doesn't get any better than this, We're totally psyched, ready to go. It's going to be a great game. Ready to hit somebody.
First night in the new house, step 1 in making it our house to defend. Okay? Yeah! Come on!
Here we go, at home, that's a jug or a new home. All we do is win here, win on 3, 1, 2, 3, win.
And this team knows how to win. Philadelphia comes in 2-0 in first place. Baltimore 0-1, trying to find an identity in this 97th season. They get the opening face-off. Baltimore, of course, in the red and yellow. The Wings, the black and silver. The Core State Center, brand new building, and the Wings trying to get off to a quick start. They do. Govett, beautiful shot. The Manimal comes down and gets the first goal of the game, 1-0. Another look at it as Govett comes down from the ground level. You'll see nobody picks him up defensively. The low shot beats Collins. Hey, Govett, it looked pretty easy.
Got a quick pass from Gabe. Ran up the field. Gator broke towards the net, kind of screened a goalie. I just threw it as hard as I could with my eyes closed and it went in.
Makes the score 1-0. Good start for Philadelphia, but Baltimore trying to get the second straight face-off. They are a team searching for identity with new coach John Tucker. Here comes Wills. Fast breaking, good-looking left-hander over to the far side. Wade takes the shot, and Wade with the left hand beats Dallas Elliott to tie the score at 1. Glenn Norris then scored to give Baltimore a lead. Then Philly scored twice. Gate and Marichek right now in the first quarter. It's a 3-2 lead for Philadelphia. Hey, but things are getting tough. Ball and Miller, 55 and 99 going at it. Both of these players will get roughing calls. Whoa, hold on, Billy Miller. Ball, Miller each get 2-minute roughing fouls. That sets up still an even situation. Look at the top of the screen. Right there. Kronberger gets nailed by Miller, but he was really leveled on a baiting play. Look at Kronberger. He set up some contact early. Then it's Govett that knocks him down. Govett knocks down Kronberger. That'll set up a power play for Baltimore. They couldn't connect. Backdoor shot and a shorthanded goal for Gary Gate. Power play opportunity for Baltimore. A goal for Gary Gate. Still power play for Baltimore, but it's Philly with the ball. Now they lead by 2. It's Gate again, circling. 2 players can't corral. 3 can't. He scores goal number 3 for Gate. He's got a hat trick, and his team leads 5-2. Watch the slides. Martino can't do it. Canabine can't do it. Gate hammers it home. His shot, 3-goal lead after the first. And is Rochester taking on New York after being beaten by New York in Rochester? Let's take a look at that game.
Hey everybody, Quinn Kesnick. We're at the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island. We've got the New York Saints against the Rochester Nighthawks in a rematch of action from last Saturday where New York posted the 14-12 upset on the road in upstate New York.
And we were just happy to get a win. That was, we're trying to put our team in a new direction, and we really needed that win up in Rochester. I realized if we lose, we only go to 1-2, but we also lose a tiebreaker to New York, which is probably a team we're going to be fighting with late in the season. So in the third game of the year, it's almost like a playoff game because we have to win this game, and we have to win by 2 goals. It was a big win last week, but we need to keep it going, to kind of get on a roll. So I don't think you're going to see us come out flat, at least I hope not, but I really don't think so.
And everybody's warming up, getting set for this Nassau Coliseum matchup. The Rochester Nighthawks now faced with the must-win against the Saints, who have really rebuilt their team. Pat McCabe right there with Huff as they get set to face off. Silcott on the left used to play for the Nighthawks. Now he's facing off for the Saints. He goes against Yoel Baker on the young rookies. Ballgate gets the face-off. Rochester puts pressure on and bounces it over Sal Licasio. First quarter action from New York. Vinny Pfeiffer just giving this team a whole new sense of power and direction. They are in shape. This is Mark Millen, acquired from Baltimore. Great shooter. Looking inside, he's got O'Keefe. And O'Keefe gets roped. 1-0. New York gets the early lead just 23 seconds into the first quarter. Millen with the assist, and Steve Sombrano gets an assist as well. Going back to the face-off circle against Silcott. So important. Pulls it out to his teammate Steve Sombrano. Hit from behind, no call as New York resets their offense. Still in the first minute of play. 1-0, New York leads. New York triggers down low, looking for help. This is Darren Lowe to the far side. It's Sarah Met putting it home. No, it's Steve Sombrato, number 25. Backdoor on that shot. Darren Lowe drew the attention of the goalie. And it's a 2-0 game. Physical game. Each team knowing they have to win. You see Huff there enforcing. So New York with a 2-0 lead, still in the first quarter, now about 9 minutes left. Here's Hollenbeck. Hollenbeck comes in against Salicasio, gets the first goal of the game. Assist to Ryder and Jacobs, that at 9:18 of the first. 2-1 now, New York leading, still by 1. They have the ball. After Aramek scored to make it 3-1, we get back in the offense. O'Keefe again into the crease, but that one counts. He scored before he landed. And now the score, a 3-goal lead for New York. Mark Millen with 3 assists so far in this quarter. What a day for him. Still a lot of time left. Rochester has to win this to have any chance for the tiebreaker against New York. To remind you how important it is for the Rochester Nighthawks. Each team trying to get possession. The 3-goal lead for the home team, New York Saints. Huff. Silcott can't pick it up cleanly. Hollenbeck with a great check. McCabe there playing tough defense. Everybody, Lockwood. Is it Field Hockey? The crowd trying to get this one back on track. New York looking good, though. They have a 3-goal lead, 4-1. O'Keefe red hot with 2 goals for the Saints. All 6 teams playing tonight in the middle. Let's go to Buffalo and see what the Blazers are doing against the Bandits.
No doubt we'd like to get a W in the win column. And I'm sure Boston would like to beat our brains in here. But we're going to go out and we're going to try and play to our game plan, stick with the things that we do well, and see what happens at the end of it.
We need to go out and take what we deserve, and earn it. And it's convincing the players that they belong. Quite frankly, this year we've taken an approach that, you guys are veterans. You're as good or better than most players in the league. You've proven it. in any given half or quarter. And he says all we need to do is string it together for a full game, and you could be in the championship game and collecting that ring then.
If the ball is up front and we're in a dime or anything, you're looking for the dig. These guys both backdoor cut. 21 and 17. Head's got to be on a swivel. Who's our bottom crease there?
Let's trust ourselves. Let's trust our teammates. Let's play to our potential, and we'll come out with a victory.
Guys, we're a way better lacrosse team than this team.
We're a better team.
That's
We're a
right,
better
boys.
team.
60
Let's
minutes,
go out.
guys. Let's
60 minutes. Prove
60
it right
minutes.
now.
Right.
All right.
Leave it on the floor.
Blazers on 3. 1, 2, 3. Blazer!
You're looking at Pat O'Toole, has not been sensational this year. The Marine Midland Arena, a brand new venue. O'Neill for Boston. Those two will be really pressed tonight. It's Boston against Buffalo in Buffalo. First quarter action. Boston comes around, gets a shot and a goal on O'Toole, and that one happens 2 minutes into the first quarter, a 1-0 lead for the Blazers. Randy Frazier gets it. Watch him come inside. Ducks inside of Doddridge and puts it right off of the hip of goalie O'Toole. Buffalo putting a lot of pressure on the other end, though, now with a 1-0 deficit. Tavares up top. He gets a lot of attention. Down low, accordingly, 2 fakes. Millen there too late for the defensive check, and that ties the game at 1. Accordingly, from Tavares. Game tied at 1. We are still looking at a lot of pressure from Buffalo. O'Neill immediately looks up for an outlet pass. Tap does the same. Wants the fast break. Out of the box. This is Carmian. Gets it down low. Watch the pick and roll on that side, the 2-man game. Donovan comes up to set the pick. Donovan on Blanchard, the pick. Donovan inside. Blanchard sees him, gets it to him, and Donovan nails the second goal for Boston. A great 2-man game on the left side. Carmine will get an assist, and Blanchard also. 2-1, Boston leads. Buffalo back up on the offense. This is a man opportunity for Buffalo. Stevens gets the rebound. He comes down with a shorthanded goal. That gives Boston a 3-1 lead, a 2-goal margin. Great job by Boston. A little bit of concern on the bench of Buffalo. Tavares, Gregory. Still first quarter action. O'Neill has looked pretty sharp in the nets. Tavares putting pressure. That shot, and O'Neill windshield wipers that one to the side. Here comes the Boston Blazers. Carmian looks for help. Nice juke move out front, the left-handed shot. He finds it right inside the pipe. That'll be the 4th goal of the game. Carmian's first, a 3-goal lead. Still in the first quarter. Boston has really moved their scoring around. 4 different players scoring. Carmian leading everybody with 1 goal and 2 assists. Let's take a look at Laxattack every Saturday morning. Don't miss any of the action of major indoor lacrosse. 9:30 Eastern Time on ESPN2. The Mill, Laxattack. Getting ready to start the second quarter. Big effort late in the first quarter. Gary Gates scoring 2 shorthanded goals. A 3-goal lead for Philly. It could have been a tie game if Baltimore could have gotten that goal in the power play. So Philadelphia escapes a near tie, but Baltimore still puts on pressure. The score now 5-2 as we enter the second quarter. Baltimore putting pressure and a backdoor goal by Jeff Wills, number 16. The great player from Johns Hopkins. Here's where the play sets up. Canabine comes near side, sets a pick. Martino comes into the corner. He sees an opening on the back door. Is Jeff Wills right behind Elliott. Elliott can't move fast enough. Hey, Ricky Freed. Backdoor shots are easy.
Pick up the ground balls and move it. We're doing fine. We just got to pick up the ground ball, move it. We have an easy backside goal.
And that makes the score 5-3. Second quarter action continuing now. Lynn's got the ball. This is where he loves to shoot. No defense in front of him. One face dodge. 2, and he gets that one backside on Collins. Great shot by Chris Flynn. 6-3 the score. Watch him come in, make the little juke move there. Inside 1 defender, inside 2, and right inside of Collins, hip high. 3-goal lead for Philadelphia. This game gets more physical as the second quarter progresses. 3-goal lead for Philly, the new Marina. Whoa, hold it, icing called. Fix the carpet, they do. Back to Finneran, working it out front. Shot on the backside, Marechek, number 42, great shooter, and he nails this one for a 4-goal lead for Philadelphia. Later on, still second quarter, McAvoy brings it in, gets a lot of attention. Gate all alone backside, he makes 2 fakes and beats Collins. You cannot leave Gary Gate by himself. That is 4 goals on the day for Gary Gate. Klodson added another for Baltimore. Gate and Marechek each got 1 more. That left the score at the half, 10-4, Philadelphia. You probably wonder in lacrosse how you can check almost without any concern for fouls. Well, the cross-check's a big part of defense. Nobody does it better than Brian Volker and Ray DeBall.
Rules and Tools, brought to you by Old Spice.
I'm Brian Volker, the Philadelphia Wings defensive specialist here with Dan Radeball, another defenseman from the Thunder, and I'm going to tell you about the cross-check, one of the major checks here in the Indoor Lacrosse League. In this league, you can really get on a guy and hammer him a little bit from the side and from the front, but you're going to get called a penalty when you really start pushing him from the rear and really start hammering him, hitting him hard. All right, so we stay here equal pressure, it's fine, but when you really start hitting hard, that's when they're going to call something on you. Get a little roll on me, we're not allowed to grab and clutch. You just got to keep hammering on the guy, keep your hands off of him.
We're back with Rochester at the Nassau Coliseum. Don't forget, Brian O'Keefe had 2 goals to get New York to that 4-1 lead at the end of the first quarter. Take a look at Sal Licasio. He has been a part of the story. This is Paul Gate getting it down low, back up top, and the shot coming in. Look at the deflection. Good save by Licasio. Has been very strong in the first quarter. Still a 3-goal lead for New York. Colsey inside. He takes the hard shot. Rope for Colsey. This is 43 seconds into quarter number 2. 5-1. The Saints. 4-goal lead. A lot of speed for New York. Look at Gordon Purdy, number 9, checking and pushing the ball up and down the floor. He's a member of the Australian national team. Great speed for Gordon Purdy. Outruns everybody on Rochester's team. Draws the penalty there at the last moment, so that will give New York a power play. Crowd loves the speeds for Gordon Purdy. Power play now. 5-1 the score as the New York Saints try to light it up. 5-on-4. In the middle, it's Mark Millen against Dietrich. The left-hander gets that one for a 6-1 lead. Millen with a lot of assists in the first quarter nails his first goal of the game. Sal still hot. Paul Gate 1-on-1. A big push by Saramet on defense, but it was the save of Licasio. Later on in the second quarter, now the score 7-1, a 6-goal lead. Saramet brings it down. Nobody on him, and a low shot beats Dietrich. That makes the score 8-1. Saramet on fire. Saramet ends up with 3 goals in the first half, but it's Rochester that's really in trouble, and Dietrich might be coming out of the game. Quint, what do you have for us?
5 minutes to go here before halftime, and Rochester trailing 8-1 has pulled their goalie, Steve Dietrich, replacing him with Derek General.
Let's see if it does anything for the team's psyche. They're now being pushed into a defensive mode. It's a power play for New York. Derek General trying to face up to it. He can't do it because the shot's down low. Walder, no defense on Walder. 2 big fakes, gets Derek General on the carpet, and that'll make the score at the end of the first half 10-1. Saints on a roll. We're back at Buffalo. This guy's fired up. Put him on the Buffalo bench because they're down by 4. Ryan scored, the 5th player for Boston, to make it a 5-1 game. We're still in the first quarter, late as it is, though. Power play for Buffalo. They need it big time. Tavares takes one wide, bounces out. Look at the speed of Boston. The only player chasing it. He gets it on the board. No goalie in there. It's Millen. Open net. That's goal number 6, Tony Millen. Tremendous hustle. Watch how he comes down. O'Toole is gambling, but O'Toole has to get Millen. He doesn't get all of them. Millen's got the open net, and he buries it right in front of Tavares. Whoa, here comes Cowie. O'Toole coming out now. He has not been very sharp in the first 2 games of this season. Cowie comes in, his team down now 6-1. We don't show you Carmine scoring the 7th goal, and we pick up the action with a 7-1 lead for Boston. O'Neal, very calm, very collected. The Bandits again with a chance to get a goal on the power play. 5-on-4. Cordingley up top. Cordingley takes a hard shot. He's drove his second goal of the game. The score now, Boston 7, Cordingley 2. Buffalo still on a power play. Tavares gets this one. It's Cordingley with the assist. And this team is fighting back 7-3 now. Cordingley with 2 goals and 1 assist. Cronin scored for Boston, and Callan scored for Buffalo to make the score 8-4 as we pick up action in the second quarter. Hall down low. Tavares, 2 fakes. Stevens can't get the stick on him. And that one will be goal number 5 for Buffalo. Now it's a 3-goal game. That's when you feel like you're in it in major indoor lacrosse. Boston putting pressure on. Far side, Frazier with a right-handed shot gives his team a 4-goal lead. 9-5 now in the second quarter. Kilgore matches that goal to make it 9-6, and that's where we leave it at the end of 2. Hey, if you can't get enough Major Indoor Lacrosse League stats and action, check the Mill on the web. Surf to www.millhome.com. Get all the stats and pictures you want. Hey, give me a letter at itsrelief@ix.netcom.com. I've gotten some great letters. Love to hear from you. The first half story in Philadelphia is Gates' 5 goals and Marichek's hat trick.
Hi, everybody. Lee Cornwall back with you in Philadelphia. It's a great game here. Baltimore has to stop Gate and Marichek in order to get back in this game.
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm getting lots of shots. I should probably be converting on a lot more of them, but if I can keep getting those opportunities, it's going to be a big night.
Well, I'd say 5 goals is already a big night. Gary Gate on his way to possible MVP status for this game. Horns, loose ball. Baltimore has possession. First shot, second half, and he gets it. Horns with a goal to make it 10-5. 5 minutes later, here's a power play opportunity. Martino rockets that one. 10-6, but back to within 4. Baltimore scoring the first 2 goals. Look at Martino just put the Jets on it. He gets that goal. Baltimore scoring the first 2 goals of the second half. Still putting pressure on in front. Wade with the rebound. Wade gets the goal, and that makes it a 10-7 game. Wade, tremendous day for him as he puts pressure on Elliott. After Finneran scored for Philadelphia and Bates to make it a 12-7 game, look at the pressure by Philadelphia as they try to extend the lead. It's Gary Gate getting goal number 6 as the third quarter winds down. Philadelphia back to that 6-goal margin, 13-7.
Now is the time. Okay, we've got to reestablish ourselves. We can't get sloppy. You cannot be tired. Okay, it's easy with a little bit of a lead to be tired. Okay, we must stay focused.
Fourth quarter starting, and this one at 13-7, really in the hands of Philadelphia as they put the pressure on Collins. And he gets nailed there by Marichek, who had nobody play him defensively to make the score 14-7. Baltimore, slim chances left, but Martino gets the loose ball. Looks up to Wade. Wade all by himself. Big fake far side, and he beats Elliott on the near post to make it a 14-8 game. Baltimore back to within 6. Wade's hat trick for the day. Piazza comes in for Elliott. And Piazza getting a little bit of legs here. Nobody picks him up on the clear, so Piazza goes down to midfield. At this point, the game feels pretty comfortable for Piazza. He's coming out, and it's 15-9 at this point. They are leading by 6 still. Pizza's dropping it, but watch the hit. Pizza way out of the goal. Now he just has to give it up. Picked up by J.J. Pearl. Pearl tries to shoot from his end, just misses the cage. Now Piazza's back in there. He's very tired. Can't defend, being pushed back by that save. Piazza still unsettled in there as Kronberger takes a hard shot. Kronberger gets that goal, making it 15-10. Only about 5 minutes left. Look at Piazza. Whoa, a little bit tired there. And Kronberger's got the bench of Baltimore fired up. But not for long, because here comes Philadelphia. And Flynn The great Chris Flynn from Penn backhands that one to make it 16-10. Plodson would add one for Baltimore to make the final 16-11, a 5-goal win for the Philadelphia Wings. Baltimore looking a little bit better with their young lineup, a new lineup, but Gary Gait showing the experience along with Dallas Elliott there. But it's the Bud Light MVP Awards. Gary Gait, look at the 6 goals with 5 assists, 11 points on the day. A tremendous afternoon for Gary. With our Bud Light MVP, no surprise, Gary Gait, 6 goals, big night for you. You guys still haven't won the second half, but you are undefeated.
Yeah, that's right. We've won every game. We're 3-0, and that's the important thing right now. Obviously, we still got a lot of work to do on that second half. I think against teams like Rochester and Buffalo, you got to have a second half, so we got to work on that.
So the Core State Center gets a proper baptism, a 16-11 win for the Wings over the Thunder. We're back to the Nassau Coliseum. What a first half for the New York Saints. 10-1 they lead. We've got time now to meet a player on the Saints roster.
Stadium seats, it's the Bud Light $10,000 shootout.
Hi everybody, Quint Kesnick at the Nassau Coliseum. We've got a feature for you this week about Mark Millen. You know, as you know, Mark was the leading goal scorer for the Baltimore Thunder last year with 25 goals. New coach John Tucker comes in and Millen gets cut, but he was picked up by the New York Saints.
Well, I was, you know, when I got the word that I wasn't going to be playing with the Thunder, I realized that, you know, I'm kind of aware of what's going on in the league, and I knew rosters had to be in. So I was a little nervous there for a couple minutes, and I figured most of the teams had their rosters in. So Sal Licasio is a great friend of mine. I got right on the phone with him, just, you know, notified him of my interest of maybe being able to come up here, and right away he spoke to Vinny Pfeiffer and called me, and we were able to work it out.
The feeling is in New York, we were happy to get him. And I think, you know, you could ask almost anyone, we're happy to get a player like Mark. You know, Mark is an impact player wherever he goes.
The thing with Mark Millen, I put him in the same category as like a Tom Carmine, a guy that has a good first step and can fire it accurately and hard, either righty or lefty. He's fast, he's got the stick, he's got the speed, he's got the shot.
Coach Pfeiffer said, you know, we want you to shoot, so I'd like to try to get some better shots for myself. I think I've taken a couple of shots that probably weren't great shots in the last couple of games, but that's, you know, that's what they brought me in here to do, was shoot, and hopefully I can finish.
Nassau Coliseum enjoying that 10-1 first half. You know, that can put pressure on a team. That's a 9-goal lead. How do you handle it? Ask the coach.
Getting ready to start the third quarter. New York's leading 10-1. Coach, what can you say? How can you not let down in the second half?
We're trying to look beyond, you know, and that's what a championship team should do. It's a very tight league. You could close a margin like this very quickly. It happened last week. It happened when Boston played Philly. Just have to look at a little tape to realize that that's not a comfortable lead at all.
Well, Sombrado got the first goal of the second half. It's 11-1 as we pick up action now. Rochester desperate for a goal. They're down by 10. Putting pressure on Licasio, but he stands tall. Working backside, Benedict. He shoots. He's got rope in the corner. That is Benedict with goal number 2. It has been a long time since Rochester has scored. And finally, on the board. Now a power play has put Rochester on top with a 5-1-4, and Gait gets 1 goal. Not too long after that, Driscoll gets another power play goal. And it wasn't long after that before Driscoll answered again. Now all of a sudden it's an 11-5 game.
Get involved in playing below the way you're capable of and try to protect the lead. It starts to get tighter. I want you to get aggressive. I want you to take chances. I want you to go to the goal. Okay? I don't care what the score is. I want the integrity of the team to be maintained. I want you to play hard.
And hard they do play, but let's watch Rochester get the ball and put it back at Licasio. Good save there. Out to Sudan. He takes the hard shot that makes it a 5-goal game. 11-6. Still third quarter action. Licasio only 8 saves on 13 shots in this third quarter. Tiring a little bit. Gordon Purdy. A big break. And Dietrich comes up big. Chugger having a tough first half, but now he looks like he's getting stronger. A 5-goal game still in the third quarter. His defense playing tough for Steve Dietrich. 11-6 as they start the fourth quarter. New York brings it down, looks for help out front. Walder takes the shot, bounces around and goes in. Walder gets a shot and a goal, 12-6. New York finally answers the run of Rochester. Back to a 6-goal lead. Big run for Rochester, and New York is feeling the pinch. They don't want to lose this one. The crowd getting behind the Saints. 1 quarter left to play in New York. Vinny Pfeiffer's got his team up 12-6 here at the Nassau Coliseum, but Rochester outscored his team 5-1 in the third quarter. We'll come back to the Nassau Coliseum in just a moment. First, let's go back to Buffalo, and it's a 6 lead for Boston over the Buffalo Bandits, the defending North American Cup champs. Trouble in Buffalo.
I don't know that we'll change too much right now. You know, there's just a couple of little strategies that we want to use, some different opportunities to do a couple of little things. I think if we continue playing the way we're capable of playing here and with the changes that we made after the first quarter, that, you know, it's a long game yet.
We don't need to jumpstart their fast break, because that's where they beat us every single time. Put the ball on the mat and get back or get off.
Get more physical on loose balls. And I don't mean hit these guys from behind taking penalties. I mean sending a guy and two to get this ball. I mean whacking the backhand. I mean letting them know they're in a god-darn game here.
Let's go beat them. They're not going to win face-outs. They're not going to beat us in ground balls. And if they don't have the bloody thing, it ain't going in our net. Let's go beat them. We can. They're nothing.
Well, they are something. They're the North American Cup champs. Here comes Buffalo, putting pressure on O'Neill and Boston early on. A little help there as the ball comes back out. Physical play to start the third quarter. And a penalty there. Sending Fair to the mat. Ron Frazier looks on as his team gets a lot of pressure on by Buffalo. Now Buffalo with a chance. They are on a power play and they shoot and score. It's Cordingley from Dowling, 9-7, back within 2 for the hometown team. Here's a power play again. Cordingley up top, looks to trigger. He's got the corner. Cordingley 2 in a row, 9-8, 2 within 1. Cordingley doing it almost single-handedly. Watch this again. Just rips this thing, rocket. He's got rope right in the corner inside the pipe. And Cordingley with 2 goals for his team to start the second half. Elvis is in the house. Fair comes down for Buffalo. Kilgore with the assist. Now it's tied at 9. Take another look at Tommy Fair. He gets the ball down low. Big fake low. Comes over the top after he gets O'Neill to bait on the low shot. It's a tie game. Boston playing tough, though. Just trying to regroup now. They are. Led by Carmian. Blanchard has been a top scorer for this team. Down is the big in this game. This is the power play opportunity. Carmian down low. Blanchard just takes a wing shot. Back up to Carmine. Rocket for him off the pipe. Ryan playing that low left-hander spot. That's Blanchard up top for the shooter's left. Carmine triggers. Frazier to his left. Carmine, he's got it this time. He finally beats the goalie for Buffalo, and that gives them a 10-9 lead. Finally turning back the Buffalo Bandits. 10-9 the score. Watch Callan down low. Callan gets the shot. This one makes it 10-10. Tying it back up. Callan, the acquisition this year. Les Bartley has his Bandits making up that 3 goals. It's a tie game with just about a third of the game left in Buffalo. Now let's take a look at our Brine Mill leaders, brought to you by Brine, the official equipment manufacturer of the Major Indoor Lacrosse League. First, we'll start with points. You see, Gary Gate leads everybody from the wings, but then Jacobs and Paul Gate from the Rochester Nighthawks are second and third. That's a losing team with 2 great scores. For goals, you've got Gary Gate, Paul Gate, Frazier, and Blanchard for the Boston Blazers, and tied with Blanchard are Tavares, Millen, Finneran, and Jacobs. And the big story for the goalies is the lack of O'Neill's numbers. It's Cowie coming in, getting more numbers. He ranks 3rd in the league. O'Toole off to not a great start. New York threatening to knock Rochester off 2 weeks in a row. This has playoff implications. It's 12-6 as we head into the 4th. We'll be back to this game in a moment.
Bud Light sounds of the game.
Hey, Bobby, I'm saying hi. Freeze is my man. You gotta listen. What we talked about in this one. Score number 18. You let your guy, man. Yes, it was. Hey, guys.
Hi, how you doing? Hate the Thunders. What is a thunder?
Strap it on, baby. Strap it on.
Everybody know what a thunder is? I don't know what a wing is, so.
If you get involved in playing below the way you're capable of and trying to protect the lead, it starts to get tighter. I want you to get aggressive. I want you to take chances. I want you to go to the goal. Okay? I don't care what the score is. I want the... Listen! Come on! Come on!
Now he's gotta wait till it's over.
All right, we're finally back to the Coliseum. He's not tired yet, and neither are the Rochester Nighthawks. They've scored 5 in the last 6 goals. They have New York worried as we go into the 4th period. The Nighthawks in the teal and white. Here they come. Randy Mearns coming for the shot. He's got that one for a 7-goal. And that is a 12-7 score, 5 goals down from Lockwood. Here comes Rochester. Plenty of time left, even though it's a 5-goal lead. Rochester with the ball again. Salacasio in there, still going the whole way. Jacobs comes up, and he finally gets one. Jacobs scores to get a 12-8 score. Now they're back to within 4, and the collar's getting tighter on the suit of Vinny Pfeiffer. 4th quarter continues, and the pressure continues. Paul Gate puts on pressure. Here comes a fast break. It's Thorpe looking for help. Paul Gate, he can't beat Lacasio. Tremendous save. After McGrady scores to make it a 12-9, here comes Gate again. Watch him go through one player. 2, 3, one-on-one with Lacasio. Goal number 10. Gate brings his team back to within 2. Only 2 goals for Paul Gate, but that was a huge one. Rochester still needs goals. About 4 minutes left. There's still time. Gordon Purdy set the face off for New York. They have to have a possession. Joel Baker, the good-looking rookie for Rochester. Ball goes out into the crowd. It'll be awarded to Rochester. Huge decision there by the referee. To Rochester. They are down by 2. Not much time left. Sudan starts the offense by digging it into the corner. Sudan fouls play, gets the ball back. He shoots and gets goal number 11. Sudan from Hollenbeck. It's a 1-goal game. 5 straight Rochester goals. Only moments left in this one. New York won last week. Rochester has to win to get any kind of tiebreaker against New York in the playoffs. Huff comes in and scores to make it an 11-13 score. Now New York up by 2. From Purdy to Huff, that will be enough to secure a win, they hope, at the Nassau Coliseum. Paul Gate comes down on Lacasio with a big save. Another save on the follow-up. And now it looks like they're calling it a goal by Fietta. Fietta gets credit for the goal. New York saying it was not good, but that one makes it a 1-goal game. 13-12 late in the 4th.
22 seconds to go. Rochester, they're down a man. You'll see Dietrich will leave the field. They'll pull another player on it. It'll be a 5-on-5 for 22 seconds. They're looking for the tying goal.
Nobody in the goal. You saw that as Rochester goes against the great speed of Gordon Purdy playing defense. Rochester getting a break past him. Tremendous speed to get past Purdy by Ryder. Paul Gate couldn't handle it cleanly. That was the shot they wanted. They couldn't get it into Paul Gate's stick cleanly, and that will do it on the clock as time winds down. New York ends up beating Rochester 2 weeks straight, and the Saints are coming back as a franchise.
We're on the floor. Rochester, great comeback, Paul, but it fell a little short late.
Yeah, we started a little late in this game, I guess. Down 10-1 at half. I've never been in that situation in my life, and the guys showed good heart in the second half.
We have a new attitude on this team, and I think we have more confidence on this team than we've ever had. I think we feel we're pretty good players, and I think that's why what pulled it out for us in the end.
Bud Light MVP is Sal Licasio. Big day for him, not sharing time with Metke. It was Sal Licasio who saved it on defense.
It was a tale of two games. New York won the first half convincingly. Rochester came back. You made a couple big saves late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you know, I got to do what I got to do to win the game, Quinn. I'm out there trying as hard as I can, but you know, with that team, we have to play better defense, and it's almost like we're disappointed. We won, but we didn't play very well in the second half, and we hung on for dear life.
Well, they won the first half 10-1. They lost the second half 11-3. Tremendous game to watch for the fans, but New York wins 2 in a row from Rochester. We're back in Buffalo. The game's tied at 10, and it's the Buffalo Bandits who have made up the 3 goals they were down at halftime. Still in the third quarter as Buffalo brings the ball down. Dowling, he's been quiet so far. Look at that bad pass stuck in his pocket. And here comes the great speed of Tony Millen. Blazers on a fast break. Millen leading. Millen right into Tavares, who makes a defensive check to take it away. Wilfong. And a goal by Edel. Wilfong to Edel. Millen will get an assist as well, and a 1-goal lead for Boston. Accordingly, getting the ball way up front. There he is. Accordingly, 1-on-1. Shot high, and O'Neal gets the save. A 1-on-1 tough break. They're still down by 1. Buffalo tired. A lot of energy on the comeback trail. Rodney Tapp, fast break. He gets stopped by Cowie, who's been sensational coming in for O'Toole. There you see the score, 11-10. Now it's time to get down to business. And close. Travis Kilgore can't get one to fall. Ball's loose. Oh, they don't pick it up. Blazers had it, but they couldn't get it. Dowling in close. He finishes it. And Dowling ties the game at 11. Feeling strong in Buffalo as the game is knotted at 11. Now it gets tough on the boards. Brian Hall enforcing Cowie out of the goal. He's hammered. That one high to the head will get some time in the box for Boston. Carmine comes up, tough call. O'Neal now, because of that penalty, it'll be a penalty shot for John Tavares, 1-on-1 with O'Neal. Johnny T against O'Neal, looking for rope. Tavares puts Buffalo up by 1. That was early in the fourth quarter, a lot of time left. O'Neal coming up strong, saving on the defensive end for Boston. Oh, so the fourth quarter would be that way. Tom Ryan with a chance to tie it up. He can't do it. Cowie has been sensational. He has been the story in the goal, and offensively, it's been the guys you would expect. Power play as we continue in the fourth quarter. Tavares up top. He takes a shot, and Tavares puts his team up 13-11. Tavares scores the go-ahead goal, and then this one to put them up by 2. Each team added 2 more goals. It ends up 15-13. And Ross Cowie is the Bud Light MVP. 30 saves on 43 shots, saving the Bandits after O'Toole's weak start.
Sometimes in a game when things are going not so great, just a goaltender change makes all the difference. It certainly wasn't anything to do with Patty, just a change of momentum, and that's what sometimes the backup goalie needs to do, just come in at a good time and make the key stop.
So the final is 15-13, a win for Buffalo. They even up the record for 97. And as we take a look at the standings in the mill, you can see that Philadelphia undefeated 3-0. The New York Saints, the surprise team this year, 2-1, followed by Buffalo. Then the Blazers at 1-2, Rochester 1-2, and the winless Baltimore Thunder. This week's MILL Laxattack show has been brought to you by Bud Light, with brewery fresh taste, the official beer of the major indoor lacrosse league. This is our coverage for next week, starting with last night's game, Boston at Rochester, followed by Saturday's game, the feature game, New York at Philly for first place. And we'll start with Boston with a must-win for Rochester at Rochester.
Hawks on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hawks.
Blazers on 3. 1, 2, 3. Blazers.
This will be a war. Boston has beaten Rochester both times they've played them at the Rochester War Memorial. Meanwhile, Rochester has lost 2 straight to New York. Their playoff hopes are really in jeopardy. They need to win at home against this Boston defense, and a tough defense it is. This is Buffalo scoring on O'Neal and Boston, but this team is tough to beat. Rochester will have a tough job doing it. Then, one night later, Rochester takes on Baltimore, and they are having trouble getting the W's. Paul Gate, what do you think the trouble with your great talented team is?
I think a lot of players sit there and listen to Lee Falsmo when he calls us, the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And, and we let up after a big win, and then we get a loss, then we get out there and we have to go out there and play hard and win, and then we let up again, and, it's a trend that we're hopefully going to break soon.
Then Boston goes into another buzzsaw against the Buffalo Bandits, led by John Tavares, truly an MVP of the league candidate. Here he is going against O'Neal. This will be a tough rematch from last week. Boston had a great start against Buffalo in Buffalo, and they almost beat them last year at Boston. They'll have to put it all together to get the W. Can O'Toole or will it be Cowie lead the defense of Buffalo? Final game will be New York at Philadelphia, and this one's for all the marbles. First place riding on it, 3-0. Philadelphia led by Gary Gate. It takes a handful of defensemen to stop Gary Gate, and sometimes that's not enough. But New York, the only bad quarter they had really is the second quarter against Philly in the first game of the year. They feel they belong, and they feel like they can win this one. We'll recap the coverage for next week. It'll start on Friday night's game, Boston at Rochester. Huge challenge for Boston, and Rochester must win. Then Saturday's games. You've got Rochester playing 2 nights in a row at Baltimore now. Then you follow that up with Buffalo playing at Boston. Boston plays 2 nights in a row, and New York takes on the Wings for first place. And don't forget, Laxattack will be on every Saturday on ESPN2, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. The best of major indoor lacrosse league action. Everybody's leaving the Core State Center. Philadelphia wins this one. That'll do it for them and for our Mill Laxattack show for this week. We'll see you next week on Mill Laxattack.